very good evening to you, esteemed viewer. This is a family hour. We welcome you from News at 8. And here we are. Of course, we are on every day, Monday to Friday, at exactly 9 p.m. as we are now. Adrian Austin Mukalazi is my name. Today is a Tuesday, and Tuesday we talk health. And today we are talking about something very, very pertinent. Yet, very many of us have not really given it time. This is a public health threat. Of course, we know that when you check the statistics, you realize that we have a very big and growing prevalence of NCDs. These are non-communicable diseases. And when we talk about non-communicable diseases, the commonest we can talk about are diabetes, cancer, hypertension. But there are, of course, very many more. Of course, if you want to know that these cases are many, take time and visit the Heart Institute or visit the Cancer Institute in Mulago. The numbers are overwhelming every day. Gone are the days when we used to think that such diseases were diseases for the aged people. Today, even the young people are suffering the same. This is a very big threat. But there are measures to see that at least the numbers of NCDs go down. And that is why there is what we call, you might have heard about it, you might be hearing it about it for the first time, but there is a car-free day. And this is a day that is dedicated to raise awareness about the socio-environmental impacts associated with cars and promote positive change. This day is celebrated in all cities. And in Uganda here, specifically for Kampala, KCCA has gazetted the 7th of September when this day is going to be celebrated. We want to know, of course, they have a lot of activities that are embedded in this day, but most importantly, we want to know why we should take time and park our vehicles at home and embrace other means of transport. But also, what else can we do apart from using these cars daily for transport? What else can we do? So we want to look at how active mobility can really reduce NCDs. And with us is none other than Owiny Hakim. Hakim is an Emobility ESG advocate or advocacy at Ebee Mobility Uganda. He's going to tell us what Ebee Mobility is, but also he will tell us more about his role in Ebee. Join me as we welcome him. Hakim, it's a pleasure having you this evening.
It's great to meet you, Adrian.
Of course, when someone just looks at the helmet on the head, they can immediately relate with what we are talking about.
Oh, yeah. I'm passionate about cycling. Everything. My story is cycling.
Okay.
And when you take the cycling story away, I cease existing.
What ignites the passion of cycling?
The capability cycling brings, it democratizes your mobility, and we know mobility is a very important element. Someone may not have eaten today in Kampala, but they have moved from point A to point B to look for employment opportunity, to look for knowledge, to look for relationship, to look for fashion. Like things that make us move are enormous. Cultural exchange, which is very important. So for me, a bicycle gives you that capability. You can walk, travel from your home, up to where you're going without saying conductor massa, without traffic jam. And it's also active mobility. Like the time, of course, I still embrace the gyms, but it gives me, like, after a long day, when I get on the bikes, like, work out. So that means I'm also reducing on NCDs, the rate of getting NCDs. And it's fun, it's community. You observe community, you're interacting with community in the active way. And also, it does not meet a mission. So I feel like I'm contributing, but it's also enabling me, empowering me to move easily from one point to another. It reduces my travel time. When you compare amount of hours people travel in Kampala in traffic jam using cars, I just take a fraction of that. So that means I have a lot of time asset to do other things. And that give me, full benefit, like I'm living my life in a very, like, contributing way, but in a very full potential. I feel great when I'm on that bike. That simple machine of 2 wheels, like it just defines who I am, and that's me. That's as simple as me. Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's interesting. And the passion, even in speaking, someone can easily see the passion. But we want to look at how active mobility can reduce NCDs. Maybe if we can give it, if we can start it from, I gave a little background about NCDs, but we can look at what these NCDs are and how they impact public health.
Yeah. We see Kampala, when you look, I don't want to go into statistics because people detach themselves when they hear statistics. Exactly. But I want to relate to family, and we are the family TV. A lot of families there are grappling with people, cardiovascular diseases. Sorry, the scientific diseases are a bit hard to mention. Heart diseases, respiratory diseases, diabetes. These are experiences, pain we are having within our family because one of our friends, one of our family members is suffering through that. And the rate is going high and high on a daily basis. When you visit Lung Institute, when you visit this hospital, you may think the whole of Ugandans are sick. And if you're not yet sick, they only know that you're going to get some of those diseases is when you don't have them yet. And the pollution in Kampala is increasing on a daily basis. So those are the NCDs, like in a scientific way, like these are non-communicable. These are diseases that don't communicate. You acquire them as an individual, you suffer with them, they take a lot of economic toll on someone having those diseases, you spend a lot on your health. And also like the impact economy as well. And the other issue is like maybe the roads also become like dangerous on how we use them. People get a lot of accidents on the road due to reckless usage of the road. So a day like car-free days here to highlighting those, like how can we make our streets safe? How can we reduce on the pollution? How can we interact with some of this infrastructure in a very sustainable way by promoting emission-emitting means of transport, promoting active mobility. Recently you heard about promoting, there's a National Physical Activity Day. So all these interventions are here in place to take cautions on how can we have a healthy life, a thriving economy, stable population, and incur less on health issues and divert those resources in other development pursuits.
Okay. Yeah. Besides cycling and maybe the physical exercises, are there any other active mobility forms that someone can really think about and maybe take part of? Yeah,
also cycling has changed. Cycling, like we are Ebee, we make electric bicycles. So it's not like the usual Roadmaster or Lare people used to use. So people said, Kampala is hilly. Ebee, we make electric bicycles. You can walk in and get yourself I ride my electric bicycle myself, so easy. They're skating. When you go to other cities, it's also it's not a car. People can skate. Walking is very healthy. It's active mobility. It helps you to reduce the risk of acquiring NCDs. There's skateboards. These are means like other cities are adopting, and they still like give you that capability of, if you say like walking is going to take long, you can skate, you can cycle. Yeah, and it promotes the environment in the city. It promotes bonding, because when you're interacting with people, that means I had to regard you, you have to regard me. But when people are in car, they feel like they're in a small house, and anyone outside get disregarded, you know? So we try to promote, there's an overarching, a lot of objectives that can be achieved by promoting, and that's why through other partners and KCCA, partners like School of Public Health, Makerere, School of College of Engineering, World Resource Institute. We have Joe Walker, he's going to be with us. He's an influencer because he's known for walking. Cycling, I've done a number of clubs like fun cycling, like different, KCCA is organizing it, but it belongs to the public. So everyone, even people on family TV staff, you're all welcome to participate on this day. And let's plant a seed of transformation. And this is our city. Kampala is our city. It's not for KCCA. KCCA, they are custodian. So we're here to make sure that our city is stable, is healthy, and the streets are safe for everyone who come to use them.
Okay. Talking about, so should we expect that on this day, it's only cycling that takes place because it is a car-free day, or what? Because what other activity can be done on the roads of Kampala?
There's a lot. The businesses, you look at the space the car eats up on the Kampala street. That space can be for a business. That space can be for artistic expression. When you go for some streets in other countries, there are streets like you find a lot of content creators. The young generation are busy creating content on the street. Streets are a source of inspiration. You come out, when you get out of your house and you get in the community, you think a lot. There's a lot of things that trigger your thoughts. But when you come on our streets today, they just give you stress. It's very hard to be creative when you're stressful. You're inhaling air, like I'm sure you have a village, Adrian. When you go to your village, the air quality you inhale in your village is very far more different.
Exactly.
When you start entering Kampala, you start the air is loaded with a lot of plastic, heavy, and all that. So there's a lot that we can use our street as a seed of transformation. We are going to have exhibition, content creators, they are going to businesses. So there's a lot of economic, social benefit street can bring in the city. As of course we know, like cities are cultural transformers. If anything is going to take shape in the country, it's going to start in the city. The good fashion, entrepreneurs, creativity, ingenuity, like most of it you find like, because people have that social structure, there are many. When you find a group of cyclists will sit together and come up with an innovative way, engineers will sit together. There's a lot of benefit the city will bring. And that's why we want to make those streets in the city safe for everyone, so that we pursue development in a very inclusive, sustainable way for everyone and prosperity. But we can only all do that when our streets are safe and make sure that they are more human than car. When you go on our street, like they're eaten up by cars. Our roads are colonized by cars. And from that, people are able to live their fullest potential. Not everyone drive. So people who drive should know that even people are walking, they are going somewhere. They have responsibilities. So they're like that. Of course, you're not going to achieve all this benefit on one day, but to plant that seed of transformation in the people that we can do better. From the engineering standpoint, they can rethink, okay, maybe we need to make our street more safe by putting maybe pedestrian walk, cycling lane. From the entrepreneur perspective, people can, okay, it can be a source, it can be a space for pursuing entrepreneurship skills, can bring your product. When you move to other city, you find kids on the street selling lemonade to workers, engaging in economic activities. You'll find people walking or running, like can be a space to develop athletics, like marathon people, but you cannot do that in Kampala. When was the last time we got a person like running, professional marathon person from Kampala? They all come from up country. Exactly. It may be other factors, but of course the air and the space, the safety in those areas give them more capability to hunt their skill to become better persons. So we believe that streets in our city can be much better than being used for cars. Okay. And that's why the day is there. Okay. And that's why we're here to celebrate it, it's also like institution like KCCA to engage with people to find out how can we do, how can we work together, it's our city, what demands do you have, what recommendation. There's a lot that can be explored on a day like that.
What are some of the health benefits of active mobility?
The health benefit, well, that is first of all, when you talk about NCDs, they come as a result of people being non-active. People go to their shops in the morning, they sit the whole day. In the evening, they are stuck in jam. You get back home, when you're tired, you just sleep. So active mobility give you, like, you sweat it off. Like it give you that capability of like work on your weight level. In science, there's a word they say, like, any body part that you don't use, you lose it. Yeah, that's scientific, it's a, how do you call it? It's a cliche in a science, and it's active. Like today when you go and sleep and you be dormant, you wake up when you find it very hard to walk. People have been on bedridden for some time. They need to get a physiology to gain their mobility back and be active. So by active mobility, it's good for your health, it's good for your weight management, and it, of course, it increases your lifespan. People engage actively in gym, active, like physical activity. You find them there. I'm always on the bike. I'm riding on the bike every day. I'll tell you that my health cost is very low, and I think I attribute that to being active on road, on the bicycle on a daily basis. When you just, like, the body absorbs a lot. I'm not able to articulate it because I'm not like from the scientific background, but yeah, if you are like a person from the scientific, they are able to break it down, articulate it very well. But everyone knows it's an obvious answers outside there that active mobility is something we see. The gym, people go to the gym, they age very slow, they don't easily get sick. They're basically active in that, and that activity gives them a benefit, also being more productive at work and more creativity than sitting there idle and gaining weight and putting yourself at the risk of acquiring some of those NCDs. Yeah.
There's something you talked about when you say that our streets might not be really safe. But what are some of the things you think that urban developers can think of, especially in trying to create an environment that is safe for active mobility as a way of preventing these NCDs?
Yeah, there's a lot. I believe that development takes everyone. It's the urban developer will do things depending on how we demand them as a people. Oh. Yeah, it's everyone involved. Like, you're involved in the development of Kampala. Everyone else is our city, so it depends on what we demand on how we use those streets. If you go around being reckless and not talking about the road safety, of course they're not going to think about it. From the urban development standpoint, when you're in an urban development space, you're like within a space of an institutions. Institution, let's take an example, KCCA organizing Car Free Day. They have a lot of contradicting priorities. You may be talking about safe streets, but also an education element comes in. You may be talking about an education, youth unemployment comes in. You may be talking about unemployment for youth, security things comes in. So you find all these contradicting, these are priorities that needs attention. And they don't not only need attention, they need resources to address them. So we, as the people, we find it very easy to point fingers at institutions like that, not knowing that all these are our responsibilities and we are stakeholders how the city get developed. So for us to inspire urban development, to develop like enabling city, inclusive streets, housing, because when you come to urban development, it's a very big thing. It comes to waste management, it comes to roads, it comes to shopping center. Like, the infrastructure is big. Sports center, education, it contacts every infrastructure that enables someone to grow in an enabling way and become an asset to the society. So, and it takes everyone. How are we informed as people? Yeah. How are we discussing our roads? How are we using them? If they're developing a road, okay, let's talk most of our neighborhood in Kampala. You go to a place like Muyenga, someone gets a plot and they build up to the end of their plot. You find Muyenga is the biggest ghetto in the city yet today, where most of our allies sleep. Yeah. They don't have roads. You can't overpass each other. When you meet someone on the other side, you have to reverse. What does it show? Do you blame an urban developer on that? It's common sense. You know, like when you get a plot, think that, and that's why most of our people also like getting diseases. Because you build a very nice bungalow in the neighborhood, but the road is not safe for you. You cannot come out and run because there's no space for running. So are you going to point fingers? The way the laws are there, the policy is there, but these are individuals like my land. If it's my land, I determine how I use it. So you mind, like, we need to interact on how to develop this. So it takes everyone, not only urban developers. The KCCA will come up with regulation that, okay, these are the planning, these are the roads should be. But you find people are like, no, it's my space. And it's your space. They will do what they can, but if you violate it, you know, there's a lot of contradiction that goes in between. That we as a people, we need to align our objective with our leaders and pursue something that fits all of us to create that. When you move to other cities, those are the things, like the leaders and the people interact together. All those infrastructures to create, like, okay, let's leave a walkway for pedestrian, let's leave a pedestrian, like cycling space, the car space. It's an interaction between institutions and leaders and the people they're working for. But once we are detached from each other, then the dangers, they like start getting involved. And that's why this day like Car-Free Day, it's here. We rethink, how can we work together, the public institution and the public, how can we work together to create that enabling environment? How can we have a civic dialogue to pursue our development objective together? And that alignment enable us to create enabling environment for everyone. Yeah.
Wow. So I think, I don't know if that has been happening in Uganda here, but this year it seems to have been given a lot of attention and probably a lot of publicity. But can you tell us a brief history about the Car-Free Day, especially in other cities? Are there cities that have successfully implemented some of these things, like creating runways for pedestrians and cyclists and things like that?
Yeah, they are, everyone nowadays, it's very hard to share things. Everyone have a smartphone, they can check, they fact checked you out. But Car-Free Day, it has a history from Bogota. Bogota is a city in Colombia. They started by closing of 5 kilometers. Today, as I talk, they close off like 120 plus kilometers just for the people. So its success and its environmental benefit, its entrepreneurship benefit, the social benefit it brought to the city, then they started celebrating it and close more. The close-up got like widen and widen, and other cities had to copy it because it was beneficial. Today in Rwanda, every month there's a twice, celebrate it twice a month. I need to fact check that, but someone can check that. Yeah, we know it. You are aware about it, where the president and all they get on the street and walk, and it's beautiful, the air pollution, and it's scientific, this is not opinion. When there's no cars on the street, the air pollution goes down, like you inhale more easily, like you see, and the science is there. We have AirCo as a partner. Actually, they're also doing a survey on that day. They have installed those air quality check gadgets machine that can check the air pollution levels. They're going to be collecting data on that day, and that data will be shared to show people that the benefit of having no cars on the road. Many other cities, like more than 100 cities today in the world, celebrate Car-Free Day. And even in Uganda, it has a history. Like from the 70s, we had Car-Free Day. Yeah, it has been here. It's not new. This is the information. Actually, we found it from the engineering department from KCCA. So it's not something new. We are only here to emphasize it and also to dialogue about it and how can we do better. And also to let the next generation see, okay, what are we doing that is benefiting them in the future, you know. Yeah.
We have a non-motorized lane that connects from Loom Street down here, and it goes up to Bapuli. And when you follow that lane, you realize that I think originally it was made for pedestrians and cyclists. They even have lanes where people can park their bikes and go for work. But I don't know what happened. I think on the way, we now see even vehicles passing through the lane and all that. But do you think this was an initiative that would have yielded positive results?
It's an initiative with good intention. And resources were injected in it. Someone planned, and they had a seed of like, let's do something new and transform it. But you know, when caution is ignored, reckless comes in. Yeah, we as Kampala people, as a person who's on road on everyday basis, we are very reckless. We lack a sense of belonging to the city. We think it's for KCCA. So I think being person like that, I'm not from KCCA, I'm from a general public like anyone else. Muntua Wansi, kind of the language people use nowadays. I feel like I have an obligation to tell my fellow public to behave. Some of this first structure, of course, from an administrative standpoint, they will say that okay, we need more sensitization, we need more enforcement. Yeah. But when something is right, something is put there for your benefit, why do you need your tax money to be used to reinforce something that benefits you? So we come back to basically, we need a civic maturity among the people in Kampala to know that this is their city, that the institutions that are there, they will do their best. And they have some mandate things to do. But for that thing to be attained, the objective of that NMT to be attained, the public need to be involved in enforcing it. When you see someone abusing it, go and tell them. When you see something wrong, go and tell someone that's wrong. Then that collectiveness, they don't have enough manpower. Like look at the stuff at KCC and then compare to the 3 million people, like approximately 3 to 4 million people dwell in Kampala every day. Do you think they have a manpower to enforce that? So it's the public themselves. If they want a good city that they can run their business in a very enabling way, empowering way, and pursue prosperity together, they need to be part of that. It cannot be just an NMT for it cannot be a project for cases. It's for them. They do it for them. So people, and it passes through shops. Yeah. Public use it every day. Yeah. Someone sees something wrong and they just keep quiet. That's the recklessness. So that kind of recklessness, we need to end it. We need to cope, like where people go to cities and they take selfies and they post on their social media. You know, I want people to take selfie in their NMT they're abusing and they post on social media. Why do you feel it nice to go to Dubai? The Dubai, well, the leader was there, but the public play a very big factor in enabling it to be the way it is. People follow rules. Laws are not there for the government. Laws are there to enable you to be predictive, to behave in a way that is civic. You regard everyone who uses it. But this is something we lack as the people. So, and when you abuse it, so the institution will be like, okay, we did this when they abused it. There's no need for it. So the negative behavior enforces each other, and the positive behaviors enforces each other. So for us, we need, when an institution attempt to do something good, we need to show them that we embrace it. So that embracing like that forces into each other, and we demand for more, and they'll be able to do more. But when they do one and you abuse it, they'll be like, even the one we did, it's being abused. So how is that? You get what I'm saying, yeah? Yeah? So these are like dialogues we can have. They don't have to wait for, like, you don't have to wait for authority to enforce some of these things. These are conversations we can have at our family table, that how do we follow regulations? How do we ensure that we build this community together? You know, it takes everyone's involvement. We should stop this habit of pointing fingers here and there. When they talk about mistakes in this city, I'm partly to blamed. I'll be blamed. If you go to the market and you buy vegetables and you easily accept Kavera and take it home, and after you say you go home and you start criticizing, who uses Kavera? You just bought one. You're part of the problem. Well, so let's stop being part of the problem and become part of the solution. And that's how we are going to create an enabling environment for everyone. And Kampala City is not for KCCA, is our city. Wow.
We are taking a short commercial break. When we return, we are going to continue with this discussion. Of course, when we come back, you will also have to know how can you be part of this day, which roads are going to be cut off, so that if you are big-headed and you want to drive that day, you do not attempt to use that route. We are coming back shortly.